98FM. This is 98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
Weekdays from 10 a.m. on 98FM.
Should we be allowed to carry pepper spray for our own protection? Just text yes or no to 0877 98 98 98. Now, the reason that we're asking this question is because of a decision by one of our listeners who has decided, after something that happened to her the other day, that she's going to get a pepper spray regardless of whether it's illegal or not. Because she felt intimidated, she felt nervous, she felt scared after an incident that happened to her on Tuesday. Her name is Lydia, and let's try and find out what did happen to Lydia. Lydia, this all happened on Tuesday. Take me through your story.
So I was just crossing the road to get the bus and minding my own business, and I seen a girl who I assume is a drug addict looking to be shouting at someone behind her, so I didn't really take any notice, but then she spat at me.
She spat at you just for nothing?
For nothing. I didn't even I just saw her in passing. It's only when she spat at me I kind of looked at her, and then when she spat at me, she was like, "Now, there you go." And then she told me she was going to rip the effing thing off my head. I was wearing a hat at the time. And just kept screaming at me pretty much.
So she was just like insanely aggressive?
She was very aggressive. Like, it was a little bit scary, if I'm going to be honest. Like, came out of nowhere.
And what was she looking for, or what was her motivation for having a go at you?
I don't know. It's maybe I was just in her eye line, the wrong time, wrong place kind of thing. But I don't know. Sure, I didn't even register she was there. So you kind of assumed the other way around. But at first she spat at you, then she threatens to rip that effing thing off your head, which was your hat. And the point of this is that you felt totally helpless. Yeah, I kind of felt like I couldn't say a word because I didn't know if she'd pull something out. And you know yourself, at Connolly Station at that time, 8:45 in the morning, it's really busy. I was half afraid if I'd have said anything, she might push me back into the traffic. I know that sounds a bit dramatic, but she was screaming at me for no reason, so anything could have been done. Do you know what I mean?
Now, you're a 31-year-old woman from the north side. You work full-time, and your point on this is, why should you have to put up with this sort of rubbish as you go about your daily business? Yeah,
like I'm doing my bit, getting on, and I'm just supposed to just take it on the chin that she, like, some junkie spitting at me and threatening me because she's like probably looking for a fix or something. I don't know, but to be that aggressive at that time in the morning for absolutely no reason.
And I know you yourself also have done kickboxing, so it's not like you were a poor defenceless little girl, but that's exactly the point, that you didn't want to use that. You were afraid to do anything to this woman other than put your head down and walk away. Pretty much, yeah. I wouldn't ever start on anyone. It's just a form of self-defence, but I kind of felt like if I'd have done anything, it'd make the situation worse. I'd agitate her more, which isn't fair. There's been a lot of talk over the last a couple of days over pepper spray and whether or not it should be legalised for, you and I to use. After that experience, this is something you now are actually planning to do, whether it's legal or not.
Yeah, I looked it up online the other day, and there is a company that delivers to just European countries. And it was about a tenner for delivery, and I think it was about a tenner for the actual item itself. Oh, so you have actually ordered it? I haven't ordered it yet. I looked it up to see if it was possible, but I am going to definitely order. I hope I never have to use it, but... And you're ordering it for, God forbid, a situation like that happening again? Yeah, more so if it was... Say that was 2 guys or 3 guys or even 1 guy at night on my own. It's that kind of a situation. Obviously, I'm not going to pull it out with a girl screaming at me in the middle of the day, but if it was to be actually serious, then yeah. And if it's illegal or not, what am I meant to do? Wait for someone to stab me? That's ridiculous as well.
Okay, so you've made that decision that you are going to order pepper spray. Do you believe that, and this is the conversation that we want to have on the show today, do you believe that everybody, all of us, should be allowed, for our own protection and for our own self-defence, be allowed to carry pepper spray?
I
know you said you were going to do it regardless, but do you think we all should be allowed to?
Well, yeah, I suppose you should be able, if, someone's going to threaten you and do that to you, you should have a form of defence. It seems like, do you ever notice it always seems like the bad eggs always seem to rule the roost and the rest of us just kind of have to put up with it? Why is that? So if it's a case of me having something in my bag that makes me feel like to have a bit of peace of mind, what's the big deal?
And had you had a bottle of pepper spray in your bag the other day, would you have sprayed her?
Probably not, if I'm going to be honest.
But
if she had to come near me or if she had attacked me, 100%.
Okay, but you would have liked to have had that option?
It wouldn't be a bad idea, yeah.
Okay, so you obviously feel then, as a lot of people do, that we should be allowed to carry something like pepper spray as a form of self-defence to make us feel a little bit more secure as we go about our business around town.
Yeah, well, Dublin isn't getting any safer. It's getting worse, getting more rough, and it's getting that you do see more junkies, you do see more kind of threats around. So, yeah, why shouldn't you? Because it's not like there's guards everywhere. It's not like you can just run up to a guard and say, I need help.
And in that situation in Connolly on Tuesday, there obviously was no guard within sight at all.
No, sure, if she had to come at me, it would have been either look after myself or run or something. There was nobody there. It was pedestrians and it was busy.
All right, Lydia. Well, I hope you're all right after that experience the other day. And thanks very much indeed for talking to us on 98 FM.
Thanks for ringing me. Thanks very much.
Okay, so I'd love to hear from you on this, just very briefly. I don't have too much time to deal with it. But we want to ask you, should we be allowed to carry pepper spray? Now, we've run a Dublin Talks text poll. 63% of you said yes. We should be allowed to carry pepper spray for our own protection. You just heard Lydia, she is going to get it anyhow, whether it's illegal or not. Now, it is illegal. It is illegal to carry pepper spray. It is a prohibited weapon as defined and is defined as a firearm under the Firearms Act. So you're not allowed to have it. Simple as. But a lot of people, you can order it online. It's actually very easy to order online. It's ridiculously easy to order online. Sharon, you're on 98 FM. Hi, Sharon.
How are you?
Sharon, a lot of people feel unsafe on our streets. You heard what happened to Lydia in Connolly Station. Should we be allowed to carry pepper spray?
No, to be honest, if pepper spray is legalised, it's going to get into the wrong hands and we've already got children being robbed in Dublin City. Their phones are being snatched off them. They're being tackled to the ground for their phones. There's old people that are back. Could you imagine pepper spray being legalised and the robbers out there going around pepper spraying people to rob their phones, rob their money? There'd be chaos. Now, I understand when you're out and you have people coming up to you and approaching you and this, that and the other. But Jesus Christ, if you have the pepper spray on you, you pepper spray anybody. If it gets,
I've always believed, though, Sharon, that if you're the sort of person that is going to use pepper spray in a bad way, you probably have it already. It's very easy to order. It's very easy to get it, albeit illegally. I don't see how legalising it would make it any more likely to end up in bad hands.
Well, what will happen is when it's legalised and everyone can get it then, they're going to, I know they have to order offline and everything else. If you're away in Tenerife, Lanzarote, you can buy it and bring it back. Because I have known people that have done that. I've known somebody that has had pepper spray and they got into a fight with someone and they pepper sprayed him and the poor lad nearly lost his sight.
Okay, so you believe that it would lead to mayhem on the streets with people spraying each other left, right and centre?
You'd be going around with your pepper spray in your bag or whatever, and the least thing that, say if you're walking along and someone just comes up behind you and you panic and you take it out and you spray some innocent person.
Well, okay, stay there for 1 second. But Sharon, do you ever feel unsafe? Do you ever feel that you'd like some sort of protection on you?
Well, come here, and I tell you, I feel unsafe half the time going out. Like, I drive, and when I'm driving in my car, I lock myself in from the inside. I never, like, go around driving at night time or anything like that. But I wouldn't feel to the way that I'd want to have something on me to injure somebody else, because that's not me. I wouldn't be able to do that, and I wouldn't have that on my conscience.
But even if that person, like what happened to Lydia the other day, is shouting at you, spitting at you, intimidating you, you wouldn't like to be able to retaliate?
Well, I'd retaliate with my fists if I could, and if something happens, that happens. But I wouldn't like to. I know, I understand where she's coming from, and she has the right if she feels unsafe that way and to use pepper spray. It wouldn't be me. I couldn't walk around with it now and use it. I couldn't.
Okay, stay there for a second. Let me go to Rachel. Rachel, you actually do carry a pepper spray?
Not all the time, just occasionally.
Okay, what occasions would warrant you having your pepper spray with you?
I would do a lot of walking with my dogs in kind of secluded places that there's not many people around. So I would bring it on those, but I would never bring it into a public place, like into the city centre or anything, never.
Okay, so you're out walking the dog, you would feel a little bit nervous, although you do have your dog there for protection, do you not?
She's a Chihuahua.
Oh, right, so she's not going to cause much harm to anybody.
No.
Okay, so your ankle biter is no good to you, but the pepper spray makes you feel a little bit more secure and safe, does it?
Absolutely. Like, I suffer from anxiety and panic anyway, and when I hear people walking behind me, I do kind of have to look. But to have something in my pocket, it just gives me the peace of mind. I've never used it. I've never even taken out. Nobody knows I have it. But to have it in my pocket is peace of mind.
What made you decide to get it, and where did you get it?
A family member got it for me. I never asked questions because they knew I go walking all the time, and I could be out for 2-3 hours at a time on my own. So they just got it for me, and they said, look, this makes me feel safer, you out walking.
But has anything ever happened to you, like an assault or anything that has, makes you nervous?
No, not me, but family members. My boyfriend in the same area that I go walking was stabbed in the back, and that was a mistaken identity thing. So, and then my grandmother, 10 minutes from there, was robbed outside her front garden. So the area in general in question, it makes me nervous, but it is known as a good area. But these things have happened, and I've heard other stories as well.
So, okay, let me go back to Sharon for a second. Sharon, there's a lady who's out walking her dog. The dog is not much use in terms of attacking somebody if she gets attacked. She does suffer from anxiety, and the pepper spray gives her that little bit of security, I suppose.
Yeah, well, for herself, suffering with anxiety and stuff like that, as I say again, that's down to herself. If she feels safe carrying it around, that's totally...
But Sharon, what she's doing, and this is why we're having this conversation, what she is doing, and I'm sure you realise this, Rachel, what you're doing is illegal. You may as well have a gun in your pocket. It's governed by the same sort of laws. You are not allowed to carry pepper spray with you, but that doesn't really bother you.
I would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
But it doesn't bother you that you're breaking the law every time you go out with it?
No, not for my safety. My safety comes first.
Is it fair, Sharon, that this woman's breaking the law?
Well, to be honest with you, no, because the person I was talking about was only up in court over it. And because it was first time, got a suspended sentence and probation. Mm-hmm. So carrying that, if it's under the Firearms Act, why carry it with you when you know if you are caught with it, you are going to go to court, you are going to get a hefty fine, and it will be on record.
That's okay with me. Again, my safety comes first.
Yeah, well, I understand that. I think
and I think a lot of people understand your need for feeling safer, but and the fact that you're breaking the law doesn't really bother you.
No, it doesn't bother me.
All right, stay there for 1 second, Rachel. And Sharon, 6797 981 is our telephone number. You can text or WhatsApp the programme on 0877 98 98 98. Do you carry pepper spray like Rachel? And if so, why? Why do you do it? And the other question I want to ask is, should we be allowed to do it? We're not at the moment. It is illegal. In fact, we've had a couple of texts. I didn't know pepper spray is illegal in Ireland. Is that 100% definite? We replied, yes. Wow, I never knew. A friend of mine was convicted of a firearm charge for possession of pepper spray, says this message. And that is the reality of it. You are breaking the law. But somebody like Rachel doesn't really care. She does it for her own protection. Should we be allowed to carry pepper spray? Jess, your dad actually makes you carry pepper spray. Why?
Yes, he does. He's made me carry pepper spray now, I think, since I was 18 years of age, purely and simply because of the fact that I am a female. I am walking around Dublin City at night time, on nights out with my friends. I work in the city centre. I travel along the Red Line. And just purely because it gives him peace of mind as well, that I'm okay if ever I get into trouble. Now I'm only 5'5". I would be quite a small build anyway. So of course, if someone comes at me or if someone attacks me, I'm not going to exactly be very quick or be very easily able to fend them off, which is what actually happened to me about a year and a half ago on my way to work. I stepped off the Lewis at Jervis. And I was walking up Abbey Street and I was followed along by two junkies, a male and a female. Now, I actually work in a very well-known department store at Abbey Street, and I was on my way into work, and it happened right outside the shop itself. Mm-hmm. So I was walking along and I felt something hit off my rib cage, and when I looked down, the male had his hand in my bag, pulling out my purse that was in the bottom of my handbag. So when I turned around and I screamed at him, I said, "That's my purse, you're trying to put it into your pocket." His girlfriend that was with him at the time was there, trying to scream and shout over me. And somehow, I don't know how I did, I actually punched him in the face. And
really?
he handed back the purse to me and kept walking. But the problem was that, at the same time, while I did have it in my bag, I knew it was there. It's kind of I suppose it's the call of, is it too extreme, or can I handle the situation, or I suppose the question is, at what point is it extreme enough to use it?
You see, a lot of people wouldn't be able to do what you did and give them a punch in the face.
I didn't even mean to. It was the fight or flight, as they call it.
But do you think, you had the pepper spray with you?
Yeah.
And you didn't use it?
No. No, because at the same time, in that quick moment, while I do have it and I do feel safe knowing that it's in the bottom of my bag, it's quick reactions at the same time. You don't know how you're going to react in the situation either. Yeah,
I wonder how that would make you feel safer. You do feel safer knowing it's there if you should need it?
I feel safe knowing the fact that if I was in a situation that I knew that I found myself in a situation where it was happening gradually, that at least I know it's there.
Does it bother you that by law you may as well have a gun in your bag? You're breaking the law that much?
Well, I think in that case, what's the difference between having a bottle of perfume or having a hairspray in your bag? You do exactly the same damage. Yeah, but it's not.
That's not the intent of hairspray. Yes, I accept that you possibly could, but the intent of pepper spray is to cause damage, is to debilitate somebody.
But anything in your handbag is a possibility to debilitate anybody. It just depends on how you use it, So I don't really agree with it on one hand. But on the other hand, I do agree that if it does fall into the wrong hands, it can be quite dangerous. It's the same as a gun. It's the same as a knife. Used the wrong way, and it causes mayhem.
Okay, but the fact that you're breaking the law doesn't really bother you. You continue to carry it.
I still continue to carry it. Following on from that story, the guards obviously asked to see my handbag. When I opened up my handbag, it was in the bottom of my bag, and he turned around and he said, "Well, look, you know what? Fair play to you. Just make sure you use it cautiously." So he was aware that it was there. He knew it was there. He turned a blind eye, and he chose to turn a blind eye to it, in the extent of, right, well, it's not as if she's carrying it willy-nilly,
Okay, stay there for a second. Let me go to Portugal, and Nelson is listening to us in Portugal. where, well, Nelson, you're welcome to 98 FM.
Hey, hello, how are you?
In Portugal, it is legal with a license to carry pepper spray.
Yeah, if you are well-adjusted as an individual and if you prove yourself that, your intention is not to harm anyone, you can use it as or you can get a license for, your personal safety.
And how do you get a license? Do you go to the police?
You go to the police. The police will tell you that you need to get a few documents that prove that you are sane, and then you can get it. It's not easy. I don't have one. I never tried for it, but you can get it, and even more easily if you have a risk job. For example, if you are a mailman and you distributing mail in a conflicted area, then you can get it more easily.
Okay, do you know many people who do have it?
I don't know many people that have it, but my uncle was a policeman, and he's never heard any story of anyone using it for a bad manner.
Okay, but it is something that is available. You have to apply for a license to carry it. You have to show that you don't have ill intent and blah, 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 blah. Just like applying for a gun license, I suppose. And people do have it and are allowed to carry it.
Yeah, if you have a license, you are allowed to carry it. And if you use it on self-defense, you won't have any trouble.
And as a matter of interest, I know I was explaining here how it's very illegal to carry it here. The law is quite strict. You can get jail. You can. It is very strict with regard to pepper spray. In Portugal, if you were caught with it without a license, how would that fare? Would you get prison time?
Yeah, you can get up to 4 years prison time, or then very big fine.
Okay, right, okay. And now, this is just a by the way and a curious by the way. How is a Portuguese man listening to a Dublin radio station, or why, or how did that happen?
I used to listen to you on the other station.
Ah, right, back in the day.
And yeah, back in the day. And, it was fun. I work at home for a remote American company, so I listen to English pretty much every day.
All right, very good.
I just come across your radio back in the days.
All right, and you followed us to 98 FM.
Yeah,
very good.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. All right, good to talk to you, Nelson, and thanks very much indeed for taking our calling. And keep listening to 98 FM. We love having listeners in Portugal. Thanks very much indeed. It was fascinating. Now, Niall, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Niall?
Hi, it's Nigel.
Oh, Nigel. Sorry, I can't get the staff, Nigel. Sorry, they don't know how to spell. Nigel, why should it be legalised? Why should we be allowed to carry pepper spray?
Just the same as the girls were saying. It's my other half walks, and it's just for no other time of the day, just for a walking in the evening. And like we're up off the Old Barn Road, and there was one or two attacks before, and they're in the media, and I'd rather be safe than to have to go through the pain of being attacked.
And do you think something like pepper spray it provides that sort of protection?
It would. A small, just to be in a hand. It wouldn't be in a pocket or anything. Just a small one in a hand as she's power walking up the parks, because it's frightening to think that you can be. I never knew that on your show that you could be charged with like a gun offence.
You could be charged with a firearms offence. You could be jailed.
I was actually ordering it, and that is putting a pause on me doing it. And
I am highlighting this so that people are aware of the fact that they are breaking the law. And in fact, somebody just messaged me a moment ago saying, "Can you please announce on air where you can buy pepper spray?" I most certainly cannot, because am I going to tell you where you can get an illegal gun? No, I can't do that. I would be breaking the law.
I was actually, and then I'm saying, like, if that happened, I just couldn't live myself for the sake of. I'm trying to weigh the pros and the cons. Like, she wouldn't be stopped by a guard. She's not sort of that. And
but just on the off chance if they found it in her bag or whatever, you could be in very, very big trouble. Kevin You believe that allowing us to carry pepper spray by law, even if it was like in Portugal where you have to apply for a licence, or you have to get a licence to carry it, would leave us like America with their guns?
I just think if they get into the wrong hands, Adrian, it's going to open up all sorts of avenues for the little thugs that are on the streets today. How willy-nilly is it to get a gun in the States, and you look at them going into schools.
I know, but the States is a bizarre situation, but listening to that guy from Portugal describe how you have to apply for a licence, it's a very detailed questionnaire, like getting a gun licence here.
Well, I think if it's controlled in a matter of speaking, I think it would be, if it's more controlled from the state itself, that a licence like a gun like that would be.
When I hear a couple of our callers saying, I don't really care what the law is, having it in my handbag makes me feel safer, that's how much protection they feel it gives them.
They say that until they stand in front of a judge, Adrian, And that's
I know that, and that's like I said, that's one of the reasons we're highlighting this today. Some people don't realise that it is, even though you can buy it in the Canaries, people don't realise that it's actually a criminal offence to carry it here, is one of the reasons I'm highlighting it. But should we not be allowed? I didn't know it was a criminal offence either now until I listened to the radio today, Should we not be allowed to go to the guards, get a licence, so that if you feel nervous walking the streets, you can have a tin of this in your bag?
Absolutely. If it's controlled by licence, if it's controlled in that manner, yeah, absolutely. But for people just to carry it and willy-nilly buy it online, as you say, I think it's just going to lead to all sorts.
All right, thanks very much indeed, Kevin, for your call. When I was a taxi driver and customer went into his house to get money, after a few minutes he didn't come out, refused to pay, and when I said I'll call the guards, he pepper sprayed me and beat me with a knuckle duster. Good God almighty. Obviously we don't want people like that having it, but maybe in a licensed way it's something that we should consider. There you go. Thank you very much indeed for all of your calls, comments, texts and opinions. This is 98FM's Dublin Talks.
98FM.
This is 98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
Weekdays from 10 a.m. on 98FM.